All right, so I am Peter Zichterman. I'm here with my wife Sylvia. We're in Grand Rapids talking with Henri and John Admiraal, who are brothers of my Uncle Case Admiraal, and they are going to share a little bit about their immigration story from the Netherlands.
Sure.
So first, thank you. Mm-hmm. And second, when did your family immigrate to the United States?
We left the Netherlands March 7,
March 7th.
56. We arrived in New York City, Hoboken, New Jersey, technically. That was a port where the ship landed, March 20. My dad read in a Dutch newspaper about immigrating to the U.S. and through sponsorship by members of the Christian Reformed Church. And that got the wheels rolling. Yeah. And because of that, we connected with a family in a small town called East Palmyra, New York, near Rochester, where there's a Christian Reformed Church. And we got connected with a family, and they agreed to be our sponsor, and that set the wheels in motion. So then we did come in March of 1956.
Wow. And so how many members of your family emigrated at that time?
10 brothers and sisters altogether, plus my parents. The oldest brother, my oldest brother Garrett, stayed behind.
Okay.
He had just finished his education as becoming a teacher and had just gotten engaged.
Okay.
So he did not want to go to the U.S. and start all over again.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How long of a boat trip was that? Do you remember?
From March 7 to March 20. So it's 13 days.
13 days.
Okay.
And it was rough weather. It was in March. The weather was rough. The ocean was rough. We had a 1-day layover in Halifax, Canada, and then made our way south to New York City.
Okay.
Ellis Island at that time was not operative. They had closed already.
Yeah.
So our ship landed in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Okay.
And that was the kind of that's where the pier was.
So when you landed in Hoboken, what was the procedure that you had to go through to land?
All I can remember is that we had to wait for a while for immigration officials, and there was a man who met us. Was he from the church?
He was from the Christian Reformed, Seafarers Ministry.
Seafarers Ministry.
And he met us when the boat,
okay,
got to the harbor, and he met us as we came off the boat.
Right.
And he was the one who helped us transition from the boat. He got us on a bus from Hoboken through the tunnel underneath the Hudson River to Grand Central Station in Manhattan.
Wow.
And from there, our family took the train, a 6-hour ride from New York City to near East Palmyra, New York, where we settled.
Okay.
We arrived around 6, but school started at 8, and we had to go to school right away.
Whoa. That's a quick turnaround.
And I know I did a lot of drawing for the first 6 weeks or so, 7
Okay.
weeks. I mean, that's all I could do.
We learned English by pure immersion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like people have immersion today, we learned it by immersion. We did not know the language. We picked it up word by word, piece by piece, sentence by sentence, until we kind of got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to backtrack, the reason our family immigrated, I always thought was the land of opportunity, best for the kids. No. Reality was, I came to find out some decades ago, that after the war, World War II, there were a lot of cities and places in Holland were bombed. Mm-hmm. There was a shortage of housing. We had this huge family of mom and dad and 10 kids in a very tiny house, and we could not find a house big enough for our family. So that got the wheels in motion for, we got to look for a better place, a bigger place, but there's nothing around here in the Netherlands, so that's how we got connected with people in the U.S.
Interesting.
That prompted it.
So the CRC church sponsored you in you said it was
A family.
Palmyra?
A family.
It was
East
a family.
Palmyra.
East
It's a very
Palmyra.
small place.
Okay.
That's where the church was, and it was
School there too.
and the school was there too. But it consisted largely of large immigrant families, but the rule was that you had to have a sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had to look out after you and provide for you. And he arranged for my dad to get a job when we came here.
Okay.
He arranged for us to have a house, and he basically oversaw our resettlement here.
Okay. And when you say the rule was, that was the rule, the way the government would allow the
Yes.
church to sponsor was if a
The
family...
government, I think, required of any immigrant to come to the U.S.
And
Through
to have a
sponsorship.
sponsor,
Gotcha.
Through
so that they
sponsorship.
would not be dependent upon the government, I would imagine. So that a person, well, there was a family or a man and wife who basically took responsibility and was favored.
To me, I'm thinking of my line of
Yeah.
work, and it sounds frankly a lot like this CRC family did a lot of the responsibilities that
Yes.
now is done by our agency
Right,
at
right,
World
yeah.
Relief.
Right,
It's an interesting
yeah,
parallel
Yeah, right.
that the church was doing that.
Well, we
back
have
then.
some people in our church doing that now too with African refugees and stuff. So, but it's kind of like a church responsibility more than anything else. Not so much an individual, but yeah.
How did your father do? Like, where the job was found from, and do you remember how that went for him initially?
He was provided a job in a furniture factory
Okay.
nearby, about 10 miles from where we lived, 8 miles. That was arranged by this sponsoring family.
Okay.
And of course, he floundered like all of us floundered. But you just hang in there, and it was all showing, how you do it. But it was hard to communicate, no doubt
Okay.
about it. So that was the hardest part by far, learning the language. On the day of departure, we all gathered together at my grandpa's house in the Netherlands. And then my grandparents read Psalm 121, talking about, I lifted my eyes to the hills, where does my help come from? And that set us off on the journey. The hard part was, at that time, when you said goodbye, we were the only family that left. So all my dad's siblings, my dad and mom's parents, stayed behind. So we said goodbye to them, not knowing when we'd see them again. But now traveling is so much more fluid.
Right.
But at that time, just say goodbye was like you won't see him again. We did, of course, but we did not know that.
When Uncle Case was alive, I remember him once sharing some of his story, what he remembered, and he said the exact same thing, is that essentially, right, because of travel, then what he remembered most was the goodbye, and
Yeah.
assuming that was goodbye forever.
Forever.
It was
Yeah.
tearful. It was very tearful.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But we have no regrets about coming here. The journey went well. I mean, there were no big, glitches.
No.
Things were arranged right when we got here. We were blessed to be here.